Pretty much every record I've ever made has been mixed on Tannoys. Hi, I'm Tony Maserati. This is my studio in North Hollywood, California, where I do all my mixing. I spend time listening to the music, trying to understand the artist, what they're trying to say in the song, and I make decisions about EQ and levels and the overall sonic experience based on where I want them to be or where I think they want to be. And of course discussing with the A&R and the artist as well. I tend to spend quite a lot of time doing broad strokes. I very rarely solo at the beginning of my process unless I want to determine which track is doing the thing that I'm hearing that I want to write a note about or something like that. I take a lot of notes and I tend to just play the track down, and sometimes I'll grab things and you know, if the section ends and that part stops, I just go to find something else to work on, and I keep building the track as it cycles. Or I shouldn't say building, I'm just pushing at it. And I use the Tannoys as my main speakers for EQing. Again, because the concentric drivers, I find the high frequencies to be very true. I don't necessarily hear a tweeter giving me high frequencies, or you know, the phase of these concentric drivers is really accurate. So I'll use the Tannoys quite a bit for my EQing. And then I'll shift to a variety of other speakers, everything from my laptop to small computer speakers to the Pro-Ax or the larger Tannoys in the wall. And I'll work through the mix. Basically, in 4 hours, I should at least have my ideas all in place. And then I can get into some fine-tuning, some more perfecting the ideas that I've either written down or started. And most mixes take me, well, unfortunately, most mixes take me a day and a half. I take a little bit longer than most. I don't pick an instrument or have a method of working with the kick drum first. If the kick drum has a lot of problems, then obviously I'll save that for later, because that's the detail work, that's the noodly part. Really what I'm trying to find out is, what is this song about, and what are the elements that exemplify what the song is about? And I work through those concepts first. And then because I know how to make a kick drum sound good, that's not going to be a problem. I can either replace it, EQ it, add to it, whatever. That's not hard. I don't spend hours and hours working on kick drums and snare drums. If I have problems triggering it because it's a live drum, you know, that requires a lot more work. I don't want to be distracted in the beginning of my process by those details. I know that I'll be able to deal with the kick drum later. And I think an important thing to remember is that when I get a record delivered, yes, there's a pre-mix, there's a rough mix done. But also, my clients have been listening to this for a lot longer than I have. It's foolish for me to assume that they recorded distortion by mistake. If it's on there, generally it's on there because they like it and they want it to be featured in some particular way. If there is some other issue with the recording, like timing, or some completely technical problem like clock glitches and things like that, well, that's, of course, has to be dealt with. But it isn't my job to comment on the technique that was used to record or produce, because my assumption is that they intended it to be that way. So I tend to, in the beginning of my process, find the elements that exemplify what the song is about and the energy that I think the song should have. And that's primarily what I spend my time doing in the first 4 hours.